Hi everybody. Today at Valley Speed, we're going to start our next project. This engine was rebuilt probably about 10 years ago. And it had head gasket failure. Cylinder head was taken off, and unfortunately it sat for 10 years with that off. And water got in the bore, rusted a cylinder. So now it's come to us, and we're going to have to fix that cylinder issue. So the first step is we can see in this cylinder bore that the cylinder is pitted beyond repair. So luckily, who's ever done this before has put sleeves in it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to order standard pistons and a new set of sleeves and build this piston part back to standard. But we have a crankshaft with some miles on it. So we're going to measure that and see if it's in specification or see if we need to grind it. So let's get to that. 2.499. Well, the mains on this crankshaft are already 20 thousandths under, and they're under minimum. So mains need to be ground to the next undersize. And the connecting rods are 10 thousandths of an inch undersize too. And they are also under minimum spec. So you got a little bit of work to do. So what we're going to have to do is cut the sleeves out of this block, install new ones for standard pistons, all back to standard, and we're going to have to grind this crankshaft. 30 under on the mains, and the next undersize on the rods is just 20. Oh, yeah, and parts have to come from England. So that should be fun. So this is what piston out of the worst piston out of the bore with all the pitting and rust in it. And as you can see from the ringlands and from the rings, it's just packed full of rust. Even the rust on the piston. So that's what that looks like when water gets in these things and sits for a few years. I'm actually amazed that this thing come out of there as easy as it did. Usually the rings get seized right to the cylinder wall and they become one, and you end up breaking the piston in pieces and what have you, but this one come apart easy. Number 2 cylinder has had all the water sit in it. So down here, you can actually see where that piston stopped and sat for 10 years. You can see actually where the rings even stopped. So there's a nice clean spot that goes around there. That's the first compression ring. There's a nice clean spot that goes around there. That's the second compression ring. And of course, in the middle is all dirty, so water got in between. That's in between the rings on the piston. And you can see the pitting on the cylinder. The rust marks on the cylinder from the water sitting there. Now, if you go over on this side, somebody has sleeved this block already, and unfortunately, they use thin wall sleeves. So, 60 thousandths of an inch will not leave enough sleeve there to make a reliable repair. So, much better off, we just cut or push those sleeves out of there, whatever it takes to get them out of there. Install new ones and order new pistons back to standard bore. And then everything is as it was when it was new. And if I can, I will actually look for a bigger outside diameter sleeve to give him some room in case you ever have to go to 60 thousandths of an inch again. You have that option. Now, right here, you can see on the block deck surface, this dark spot right there, that is where the head gasket failed. And just a little bit on this side too, on this end, between 3 and 4, but all of it was here, between 1 and 2. And then unfortunately it sat for so many years, got with the cylinder head off of it, and got water in the bore. But it is fixable. And that's what we intend to do. We have the technology. Okay, everybody, we've got parts coming from across the pond for this Land Cruiser. Stay tuned for the next episode where we're going to grind the crankshaft. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.